everyone, and welcome to the Ops Hoops Origami live stream for July 11th, 2022. How's it going?
Welcome. It's going well. How are you?
Oh, good. How was your vacation week?
Good. Pretty chill.
Yeah?
National holiday. And the day after, the day I like to think of our founding fathers waking up and going, wait, I signed what?
Yeah. Pretty
Dear George, super sorry about the joke.
The hangover must have been immense.
But seriously, no, it was good. Lots of time with family. Pretty chill. Kind of exactly what you want for a summer holiday.
Same here. It was inclement weather on Monday, so a lot of fireworks were canceled. At least
Right.
were by me, so yeah, we just kind of hung out all day. Nice chill day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We were all set to take the kids to fireworks on the 4th, and of course rained out, and then rained out again on the 5th. So, like, I heard one, I think it was Pewaukee, that rescheduled for the 15th.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, gotta do them sometime.
Right.
You paid for them.
You did.
They don't store well.
I mean, I figure Christmas fireworks sound like a great idea, right?
Yeah. Well, you have a different budget for that.
True.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome.
Hey,
How's it going?
Houston, can you read me?
Yep, we gotcha.
Got a pretty strong breeze through the homestead tonight. Got all the doors, all the windows open. So
It just started raining by me. It probably already passed over you.
yeah, that's what it kind of blew all that skanky, hot, humid air out of here.
Yeah, it's still 81 here, so
it's probably 20 degrees cooler here.
Oh, nice.
Thank God.
I can handle that.
Yeah, we're currently hovering at 80. We've had a bit of rain.
Ooh. So, did you have some fun on your travels, Jesse?
Last week?
Yeah.
It was last minute, short-lived, quick and dirty.
Yeah.
So,
sometimes you slide in, fix something, get the hell out of there.
Yeah,
before they start asking more questions.
Pretty much what it was, and I kind of, did what I could at the time, and they were fine. We had 2 core switches paired. Both of them had both power supplies inserted, but only one of them had power cables ran to them. So it was running on one the whole time.
Wow. And nobody noticed this in any of the logs?
What logs? I don't do logs. Logs are for sissies.
Those power alerts they're just a lie.
Yeah, they're fake. Yeah, fake news. Yeah,
that's just big electricity trying to pull one over on you.
Yeah. So I connected those up. Still, no network equipment is protected by a UPS. So
yeah, well, even if there were UPSs there, the batteries would be dead anyways.
Yeah, batteries would be dead, and $100 battery. They have the servers, and then I think some of the phone equipment and some of the other access switches are connected to UPSs. But I'm telling you, these UPSs are barely consumer class. I mean, they may last a minute. Like, these things are like 100%. they're pulling
maxed out.
all the amps. Yes. But
Like
You guys buy garbage UPSs, and then if a battery dies, first off, you probably won't notice for a couple of years, but then you'll just go down to Office Depot and get another one, and daisy chain it off the first failed one.
yes, in classic form.
Yes,
It's double protected then.
Sure. That's
Yeah. But it was good.
I mean, I get it that these are all little tiny closets and there's not much in there, but still.
You think you'd get out with a mandatory minimum at some point?
Yeah. At least get an
Like-
APC.
Yeah.
mandatory minimums, not just for sentencing anymore.
Yeah. Because like a 1500 or a 2000 would be plenty for most of those little closets.
Yeah.
Couple of switches, couple of routers. There's not much going on.
Yeah.
Well, and when you step up to that level, you get better electronics. You get
Yes.
a
Correct.
better
Yeah.
UPS.
Have you guys used any of the newer lithium ion UPSs?
No.
No.
Can't wait.
Not
till
sure
one
how I
of those
feel about
blows
that.
up in a center.
I mean, lithium-ion batteries are not great at long hold charges, right? Like,
Well, yeah, it
I
depends.
don't really love it.
Like LIFEPO4s, those are fine, but those are made for that, and they're high cycle. And
Fair enough.
so someday when I finally build a solar system, that's definitely what I'll be using.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So the world tour continues on Sunday, and out to West Coast office for part of the week.
Fun. What's that count? Like Missouri? West Coast of the
West Coast of the Nile River. Thank you.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, tell us about your bad interaction with users.
Oh no! Well,
And I have-
not users. What you mean?
Well, people.
You mean,
Hold on,
you
Let me
mean my
get the
tenant?
popcorn.
You mean my tenants or
Oh, whatever you were bitching about in the chat.
oh, that's more like business level rather than IT level, and it kind of spilled over to us to a very high visible issue
Okay.
for a large rollout of an application, like a business level application that kind of all eyes are on this thing, and years in the making, something like that.
It did not go as smoothly as anticipated.
I mean, for something like that, there's going to be something. There has to be. God himself could not anticipate every possible avenue. So it has been interesting. A lot of time has been spent on.
To be fair, that's not God's job. It's pretty clear he's not in QA.
That's yeah. It's like, you do it. Get out of here.
Yeah, because I took that concept or that comment and generalized it, and just basically our interactions with people in day-to-day business. And
yeah, it's more than just what the influence of infrastructure, whether it be networking, firewall, server stuff, even on the dev side, it's there are forces at work beyond all of that influence all of that, and
yeah, always.
the dance is real. Yeah.
I mean, when you're talking about a project at that scale, like the map is written. You may not know what it looks like, but the route you're going to go down is determined months in advance.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
And like you can look back and figure out how you got there, but
That's all
you know,
hindsight. Yeah.
right? Like you can make good choices, right? You can do a lot to protect
Oh, you
yourself.
can.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
we didn't. I don't think infrastructure, at least on the network side, we knew of it being a continuous long-term project, but the go live we didn't know until it was days in advance.
Yeah, that's a massive failure.
Yeah.
And I don't think infrastructure as a whole generally had a whole lot of action items because you move from one server to the next. I mean, that's nothing really changes fundamentally from infrastructure, but
Yeah.
everybody attached to the ship gets pulled down with the ship. So
Yeah.
Well, when things go badly, they start looking for anybody that can
yeah,
help or, blame.
yeah, and that's fine, and that's sure. I will be both of those things.
Right.
I will
Must
be
be the
the hero
firewall.
you need and the hero you deserve.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes like this is one of the roles that I think infrastructure doesn't get credited with enough is that like sometimes we're the sane voice in the room,
Yeah.
right? Because I think we're better at rolling back for the most part than other disciplines are,
Yeah.
just because like we have to. Sometimes your stuff doesn't work right. So coming up with rollback plans or what have you, or accepting that there aren't rollback plans and coming up with other mitigations to adjust, like
Correct.
that's something that I think we've been doing for a lot of years in infrastructure. And
You can't back out a reboot.
correct.
No. Yeah, some things are a one-way street, and you just need to deal
Right.
with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Be that implement a workaround or work with TAC to get something fixed or whatever it is. Sometimes you just can't revert, or reverting is the last case. That's the that's the worst case scenario. You
Right.
work through it till you're working.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
we're not really a leaping away. I mean, it's a little bigger, more mature than that. At least they see the inner workings of kind of what we're doing.
right.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is like while there's day-to-day pain from infrastructure and operations, it's typically low level, right? But it's the stuff that they remember. And then they have these big, like frequently from a development side, like you've got little bugs and people kind of get used to them. And then they have these big catastrophic things that happen. Sometimes
Yeah.
not even catastrophic, but like they just have these huge impacts. It's
Yeah.
shocking to me how short the memory is for those things, right?
Yeah.
Like they can remember the fact that infrastructure has like caused them various low level pains, 12 or 13 times over the last 8 years, but they can't seem to remember the gigantic, awful pain that was like a code deployment that happened last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe that's just like optimism, right?
Yeah.
Well, of course, it's not going to be that bad again.
And all a rising tide lifts all ships, but also a falling tide lowers all ships. And as that tide lowers, anything that coming along with that, well, on any normal day would be seen as benign issue, is the same magnitude as that tide has lowered, so that the importance of that is now amplified to the same magnitude as every other problem going on, albeit on the surface anybody would say that it's minor,
Right.
It's just, and I do like when infrastructure gets involved especially on the network side, because usually you can kind of at least help the conversation kind of put that concentric circle around the proper thing.
Right.
Like
you,
the
you see it
frequently asked questions.
Yeah.
Right.
Usually.
Yeah, usually. And you can kind of like, at least with a modest amount of confidence, eliminate basic connectivity problems, basic, things that you would typically run across. But because you have so much insight, you can kind of guide that conversation down a right path. There might be many right paths, but one of those hopefully ends up to the right thing.
Right. Yeah. Well, good times. That sounds like fabulousness.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's nothing.
Right.
Nothing. Yeah. Just a
This too shall pass.
Just $1 billion operation. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Tiny.
yeah.
Sweet. Well, in preparation for Dead Air today, I have looked up random internet and tech topics.
How about the massive telecom outage in Canada?
Oh,
Ooh.
Rogers. Yeah.
That is coming to a doorstep near you.
I really haven't seen much. Do we know what actually happened? I haven't had a chance to do a reading or follow up on that. I just know it happened. I don't know what the resolution was or what caused
I don't know what the root cause was. They may never, that may never come out. But that just goes to show that, centralized telecommunications providers have centralized problems as well.
Oh yeah.
It's going to happen to the AT&Ts of the world. I don't care who you are. We'll see more of this.
Yeah. And I think the bigger guys, the AT&Ts and Verizons of the world, they probably experienced those kind of pains 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. I would think it would be less likely for, like, say, AT&T to see an outage of that scale these days. They've already gone through those growing pains. They've already experienced the horrible things. Yeah. And AT&T, once upon a time, I mean, that they kind of were the pinnacle of engineering for, like, communication networks.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know it by looking at what they're doing now, but I mean,
yeah.
Same with Verizon. I mean, they've run a global network for a long time.
Yeah.
Just because some of their particular services suck. Overall, I would not expect to see, like, Verizon pull a Rogers. I just don't. I even think it's possible at this point. There's probably too many controls in place.
Probably. I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
So, as of yesterday, the CEO credited a malfunction following a maintenance update in their core network.
That's kind of vague.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah.
But when you take out your 911 services, you're going to get asked a lot of questions.
Yeah. Anything public facing, cell phones. Who cares if companies are taken out? No one cares about that. But cell phones, point of sale systems, ATMs, 911 or whatever. 911.
The safety services stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, at least in the U.S., they demand answers when stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suspect there'll be more fallout from that.
Yeah.
How long it's going to take is is a good question. And I don't know. The regulatory environment in Canada is different than it is in the US. So
Yeah.
It is. I don't even know enough to know how it's different. I just know it is.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's see. It could cause some of our routers to. That's. Jeez.
Non-answer.
Not an answer.
Cause some of its routers to malfunction. That's not an answer.
That is some. Yeah. That sounds like you're trying to sweep something under the rug.
Like, did you let the
Wanna-
intern install like the
Yeah.
latest WRT firmware on your core
Like
switching?
it sounds like someone put a slot 8 route when they intended a slot 28 route.
Stuff like that happens.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Or you mangle up some BGP filters and push them out to the whole shebang. Oh, and now you're cut off from everything, so you can't change it back.
I wouldn't even know what to do.
Yeah, start polishing your resume.
Yeah, just find a new job. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you'd think they have some out of band way to manage these things, but then you have people like Facebook that drank their own Kool-Aid a little bit too much and didn't think they needed any back way in, any
Yeah.
I
out of
mean,
band way in.
you look at Amazon stuff from last year, like they theoretically had out of band management, but it was getting crushed too. Like,
Well, then it's not far enough out of band. Maybe they don't understand what out of band means.
correct.
I mean,
I really don't understand how organizations are still. That's not true. I do understand how organizations are still not catching on to this or not making the changes they need to. Like in some ways, they're really expensive things to fix, right? Like you take a DNS problem, right? How do you maintain an alternate DNS or a solution that doesn't depend on DNS? That's a big ask.
well,
And
that's one of those things that's so critical. You pretty much have to assume it's going to be there.
Yeah.
right, but
At
it's
least
also
public.
a system, right? Sure.
Yeah.
Like you get a big provider out there that does something stupid with DNS, watch that get poisoned real quick.
If the root DNS system went down, there's almost no way it could, but if it did, it would be bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it was designed to be ultra redundant.
That it was.
Because it's something that's easy to do that with. So
Right. Well, I mean, it's designed to be ultra redundant. It's also designed to be pretty simple, right? So that it can be easily understood and it can be easily, like, you can write good controls around it. Doesn't mean it's not possible to mess with it, though.
Yeah.
Particularly a lot of those long-term core services, never really written with much security in mind. So like they're as vulnerable as anything else.
Well, yeah, and a lot of it is tacked on after the fact to address problems as they come up.
Right. I mean,
they've used DNS for denial of service amplification attacks. They've used it for all kinds of things. Cache poisoning attacks. There's all kinds of ways.
right.
Now, a lot of this, I mean, we have ways to mitigate this now. I mean, things like DNSSEC, but how many people are really using DNSSEC? Should be more. It's relatively easy to do. You just need to do it.
Yeah, the fact that it's not baked into protocols is hard. Like then you have to deal with adoption across all your systems potentially. Like Microsoft DNS servers, not really doing DNSSEC per se. So like, is it configured by default, right?
Yeah.
The answer is no.
No, yeah, and it wouldn't be because it actually takes. I mean, because you need to manage that key. There are things you have to do and do continuously. This isn't a set it and forget it thing. So
Correct.
yeah, it's not going to be on by default. Now for like resolvers, they should be configured by default to be checking DNSSEC, but I don't know if they are.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
most things out there,
most people just
configurable.
have, yeah, they just have DNS to their local AD. Local AD reaches out to root resolvers, and that's about it. There's no, you can do DNS sinkholing, but which is probably the easiest form of it. But I don't know.
Yeah, there's things you can do, but
Yeah,
if it's not on by default, a lot of people won't be using it.
That's correct.
And yeah, all those old protocols are there. Every one of them has flaws that were never thought of when they were originally envisioned. Because a lot of these things are 40 years old, 50 years old, even for some of this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, all the
resolution.
core protocols of the internet, they weren't developed with security in mind because it was never really an issue then. It wasn't on their radar.
Yeah.
They were coming from a position of trust.
Trust, yeah. I was just gonna say they were all trust based. Yeah.
And I don't think that they were so naive. There didn't need to be security. I think that they very much got an early system in place and were like, the fact that it took off was a good thing, right? But there's part of me that wonders, like, is this just another case of nothing more temporary or nothing more permanent than a temporary solution?
Yeah.
Right. Like,
hey, it worked. No one touch it.
like, what if somebody tries to mess with it? Oh, don't worry. It'll be on a isolated network. Nobody will get to it. And we'll fix it later.
Yeah.
Will you though?
I mean, going back to DNS, I mean, it's practically unchanged.
Yeah. Name resolution.
And the fact that it's still doing the same job just as capably now, and it's a critical job. And they never tried to glom all kinds of dumb shit onto it that doesn't belong there. It's just simple. It works. It's understandable. But yeah, we do live in a different world now on the internet, and things need to be more secure. Because if there's any way to manipulate something, somebody is going to try and do it.
Yeah.
For a profit or just for fun.
Yeah.
But we're always getting better. Someday we're all going to have IPv6.
No.
That's been a 20-year work in progress. And I mean, some places, yeah. But even that, at least, so, I mean, it was developed late enough where there was enough thought towards security where there are a lot of things built in, like just simple things that should have been kind of obvious from the beginning, like opportunistic encryption between endpoints. but a lot of them aren't being used and probably will never be used. There's a lot of things that seemed like a good idea about 15 years ago that, that we're kind of past that being a useful idea anymore.
Yeah.
I would prefer if we'd move a little quicker, but I still can't get a proper prefix delegation from my ISP, a business class ISP.
I mean, that's part and parcel to modern telco vendors, right? Like,
yeah, they'll do the bare minimum. I should harass them again and try and get an actual allocation from them. Because they will hand out a oh god, what it wasn't a /64 they were handing out.
Should be a 64, right?
No, it should be I can't remember what they're supposed to be handing out. Totally blanking on it. Yeah, because a /64, that's the minimum. A /64 should be the equivalent of like a /24. You should never have a subnet smaller than a /64, or things break. Like multicast breaks when you get below 64. That should be like kind of the base unit for a subnet. You can go bigger, you just shouldn't go smaller. You can do like the equivalent of like a /31 for like a transit, but there's really no point to doing it that way. You can just use 64s everywhere. There's plenty.
Yeah.
I mean, but the problem is I can pull that from my provider, but that that basically covers my transit. I can't actually do any subnets internally then. So, well, and also like my provided router, which I have to use because it's business class service, I can't do any routing on it. So I can't even do anything fancy and fake it. So. Okay, a /48 will be like the normal allocation. And I think like a business is expected to get like a /40, something like that. But anyways.
Yeah.
Right.
Someday.
All right. Fun question for you.
Yep.
Have you all ever heard of relentless.com?
I don't believe so.
Should I type this into my browser, or is like
go ahead?
Watch list.
Nope.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be like on a billion list because of this. Ooh. It takes me to Amazon.
Amazon.
Congratulations! It was one of the early possible names for Amazon.
Oh,
Relentless.
That's an odd name.
Yep.
They were probably just registering like all the domains at the time, right?
Although really, Amazon is an odd name. I mean, what about Amazon brings you to a seller that turned into
shopping?
So other names from the early days: aard.com, awake.com, browse.com, bookmall.com,
Well, they were probably looking at names that didn't associate with
Right.
shopping. They were looking at generic, unique names that weren't associated with anything that could now be associated with their brand.
Correct. The browse.com one is that's like deep tracks right there. I'm actually kind of disappointed that one didn't take off. Then we could.
I'm surprised I haven't tried to use that for something.
I wonder what this one is. Browser.com. Oh,
Yeah, I
that
totally
goes.
understand.
Browser.com takes you to CNET's download page, so that's fun.
Ooh,
That's still a thing.
apparently.
Exactly.
My 2002 again.
Uh,
Yeah, remnants of the internet.
Indeed. You can find the original web page if you want. That's hosted at CERN now in all its hypertext glory. Well, I found all kinds of interesting facts. Apparently, smoking can avoid your Apple product warranty.
oh,
Let's see
I
here.
mean, if you've ever worked on the computer of a smoker, you'd know why.
Whew, you ain't kidding.
Oh,
No.
God.
I kept a bag of nitrile gloves when I worked on the help desk because of that. Anything that came in that was gross or like just some foulness, just nitrile gloves, just do it up. Like,
Yeah. That's a good idea.
like I don't want to know where this. If that keyboard is as bad as it is, I don't want to know what the keyboard is facing.
I mean, my keyboard gets pretty bad, and I don't eat over my keyboard. I don't do basically anything. And
He
I mean,
dips
just
his hands
dust
in
and crap, and
plasticizer and
Yeah.
does complex exfoliations before he comes near his computer, and still
it's like Gattaca. Gotta get off all the dead
Yep.
skin and hair, and be all slicked down like an Olympic swimmer.
No thanks.
You say that now.
All right. You want some other crazy things?
Sure.
Shopify. That old standard statistical powerhouse, Shopify, says that there's a 94% higher conversion rate for retail customers using AR or VR technology than those without. And you know what that tells me? Don't do your shopping using AR or VR.
No, I can't imagine.
I think that probably speaks to the type of consumer that the VR experience would be attracted to.
Don't get me wrong. I like the VR experience. I don't want to pay for that. Like when VR gets to an accessibility level where it's comparable to what current compute and interface is, then okay, I'll give it a whirl. Right? I mean, what's not to love? Put on a pair of goggles and have as much screen real estate as you want. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I don't really need to see the sheets I'm going to buy in 3D. Right? Like,
Yeah.
I can see the color. I can see the washing instructions, and I pretty much know what they're going to look like when they're on my bed, which is covered by something else.
And I can appreciate the some of the AR things that places do, like Amazon will do. See this in your room.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's going to be the thing.
I've never used that, but I can appreciate the fact that some people might find that useful.
I mean, I
And
know there are people that lack imagination, right? But like, aren't we stealing from them the opportunity to grow their imagination by doing these things for them? Like,
Yes,
Yeah,
and
probably.
stealing that is very profitable, Chris. Flat cap.
it is profitable. It is profitable. Anytime you, anytime people can pay you to make them less capable, you'll make a lot of money off of it. Because like it's the double whammy. Not only are they paying you for the first time, but they're becoming less capable every time they do it. So they're going to need you more.
Well, there you go.
Exercising, yeah.
I mean, isn't that kind of the goal?
Yeah, it's getting the right product to the right people, I guess. Right.
Well,
I mean,
and I think that stat from Shopify or whoever the hell that was.
Yep.
It's probably,
and I'm sure a lot of it's like furniture sizing, right?
well, no. So I think the stat would be skewed by the handful of places that are doing it are places that have a stupid high conversion rate anyways,
Sure.
or
I
at
mean,
least
if you're
doing
going
it
to
at a high
invest
level.
in
Because when you're
AR or
comparing
VR,
everyone, every retailer, retailer to the handful that are doing some sort of AR or VR, which would include places like Amazon, well, of
right?
course the stats are going to go in the favor of that. I mean, so let's see a stat for what are the conversion rates for online retailers that take credit cards versus don't.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I've always valued my cash only online retailer.
Yeah, or like scan a check and what?
No, you scan
mean,
the money. You hold the bill up to a camera, and then you film yourself putting it in an envelope. And when a human verifies that, then like you're good.
so I mean that stat may be true, but it's not true in any useful manner. That's what I'm trying to get across.
Yeah, I remember I had an eBay account before you needed a credit card,
Right.
and you just had to have an AOL account. If you had an AOL account, you could get it. And I piggybacked off an extra one from my buddy in high school. And I remember going to the post office and sending mail order checks to people to buy and sell things off eBay.
Yep.
Way back. That was way back.
Back when commercials still included the instructions. Oh, send your check or money order.
Or money order. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I sent my money order around.
Oh, the things that the kids today won't even know about.
Yes. You know what money order is? Like, what? No, I went to the post office and I gave them cash and they gave me a check that was good as cash, and you sent it in the mail. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you had to have cash on hand to get a money order, though. So.
Oh yeah. It was cash only.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a legit thing. Now it's like nobody does that.
Hey, I'm gonna send you a money order. It's gonna be for a lot more than I want to buy that item for. Oh, red flag.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait a month for that check to clear too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah. You'll get your vintage Rock'em Sock'em robots in a month. Like, if you buy it off me.
Once I've validated that I've received your money order.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, and that's
honestly,
really what it takes.
Right. I think honestly, the memory of money orders is why smart contracts will ultimately take off. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's been scammed, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
I sent you the payment, you didn't send me the thing.
Yeah. That's
Nope.
Everyone's
Yeah.
got the notch on their belt for that. Yeah. And a large or small.
That's why these days things like trusted escrow
Yeah.
places for both items and the payments is a thing now.
Yeah.
So
I
like
mean,
my youngest son sells tennis shoes on StockX.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
basically they'll list it, you send the shoes to them, they verify that they're real, and then they send them on to the person.
Yeah.
And once they verify that they're real, you get your money. Because they've already gotten both sides and they
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely things like that. It's, I know it's not super old, but there was a time when you couldn't get shipment tracking for anything.
no.
Like you just sent something off into the void and hope it got there. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
my
oh, well, they
favorite
sent it
thing
to
about
book crate.
yeah,
Be there in
sent to
6
U.S.
to 8
Postal
weeks.
Service. I put a stamp on it.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me that the U.S. Postal Service is still offering service that doesn't include tracking. Like, it wouldn't be that hard.
It would
Obviously,
be almost trivial.
Obviously, if you're putting something in like a letterbox somewhere, that's a little harder. But
No, not even.
Even then,
they could make this stupid simple. Every stamp is just a QR code. If you want to get that tracking, you just scan it with your phone. And once it enters the system, it's tracked the entire way. Every time it goes through a scanner, it gets it.
Yeah.
Everyone would be verifiably unique. There'd never be a postal fraud again. Not that that's probably been a thing in the last 50 years, but
heck, they can make it so that every postal customer has like a stock set of like 15 or 20 QR codes that you can attach to stuff, and you can track any of them in flight. If you want more, you pay for it.
Yeah.
That actually is a great idea. U.S. Postal Service, if you're watching, you should make corporations that want to be able to track their deliveries.
Yeah, they probably see it as a 2-tier system no matter what. They see it as first class mail, stamps, anything stamped is the same classification as bulk mailing. Your standard, junk mail, all that falls into the same classification. And then there's the tracked, barcoded stuff.
So
which
here's the thing:
50 cents or something.
The amount of money that the U.S. Postal Service spends on electronically sorting mail is insane.
Yeah.
If you got the end user to do it, like input your address, scan QR code, before the package has even left your house, it's already loaded up to the U.S. Postal Service. And if you get it wrong,
it's actually going.
It's not their fault.
That's already a thing, though. Like, I've sold a lot of stuff on eBay, and
right.
I don't think I honestly can say not. I don't think one time I had something lost shipping something on eBay using USPS.com as the medium. Print out the code, fully tracked, send the package on its way.
But what you're talking about is fully tracked, which is a service that they provide and they charge you for, right? What I'm talking about is like, I put my handwritten envelope in the mail, right, with their 42-cent stamp on it or whatever it is now. They have a ton of apparatus to read that handwritten envelope and get it to the right spot. They are. They're amazing.
Considered.
Like optical.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
They could get
It's
rid of
already
all of that because the end
Yeah,
user
but
would have to do it.
But
but
still
they
there.
but you're still scanning and sorting physical, whether
Yeah,
it's a
but how much does
QR
it?
code
So you think
versus
about like a FedEx distribution facility. They don't really worry about what shape the box is. Like they have restrictions on the size of the box, so it fits on their conveyors. But like
Yeah.
envelope, like you can send them like a postcard size thing all the way up to the biggest box they'll support, and
Yeah.
they don't care. It goes through the same system, maybe two systems, right? Like smaller stuff that might get prone on to being lost on a big conveyor might go on a separate thing. But the postal service has like massive amounts of letter sorters and letter readers, which
Well,
are expensive to maintain.
But that's, I mean, UPS and US in FedEx really don't do that letter sorting. Like I know you can send like a envelope via FedEx. It will get there
Right.
eventually, but the standard mail is still, I mean, 90% of it is still handled by US Postal Service.
Yes.
The Postal
Which-
Service.
Let's be honest, the postal service is under the same labor pressures as everybody else, and
Yeah,
price pressures, right? Like if they could be more efficient with their workforce, they would be better off.
They
I mean,
should be.
I don't see where the deficiency is in the postal service. It's exactly what a government service should be. It's cheap.
I mean,
It's
except for the
slow. It's slow.
unfunded pensions.
Yeah, so that's a thing, and that goes. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just
Hiding
standard.
costs.
That's just standard government
Yeah.
corruption. I mean, that's just. But
It should be mandatory, 100% funded. Not,
Yeah.
we'll figure it out when that person finally retires, maybe.
yeah, that's just standard.
Yeah, no, that's all.
government.
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
I mean,
But
no, that's
They have a
standard
lower
unregulated
standard.
pension system.
well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like you would like to think that private business is better, but they're not. Like companies borrow against pension programs all the time until they're told they can't.
If there's any left.
Right. Because
Yeah.
companies borrowed
Yeah.
against private pension programs. Like
Yeah.
you look at any
Well, whereas USPS didn't even bother funding them.
I mean, true.
Yeah, they made a lot of promises and
Yes.
whatever.
And that's what got Chicago in trouble. That was what got LA in trouble.
They're like they're mandated by the government, but they're not a government institution. It's like this quasi semi-private government sponsored goofy.
They're the inverse Amtrak.
Yeah, and I if I were the benevolent overlord of all of this stuff, I would take all of it in the government control 100%, and I would have it slow, I would have it cheap, I would reliable, and fuck everybody else, because that's exactly what a government system should be, is slow, cheap, and reliable. And you may not
I would
like
make it slow, cheap, and reliable, and remove the restrictions on third-party carriers to be able to deliver like just standard first-class mail, because that's currently illegal. They can only deliver express packages. It has to be something that can't be delivered by the United States Postal Service. That's the only way that FedEx and UPS can operate. It needs to be express services, something that's not provided by USPS. I would say,
because that's why no Amazon or UPS packages show up in your mailbox.
Correct. Well, yeah.
Well, that's another.
That's a different.
Yeah. Can't
it's a
misuse
different
your...
but similar thing, but yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what happens if you don't have a mailbox?
You don't get junk mail?
No, you can get technically, I thought you can get mail delivered anywhere, whether it's a mailbox or not.
Do you know what happens if you don't have a mailbox? The letterer carrier has to get out of the car and bring it to your door.
Oh. I wouldn't do that just because it's mean.
Yeah, that's just mean. But I think
It's
that
super
gets back to
stupid.
even if you don't have an address, you can address an envelope to, Bob fuck all to
At this
end of
corner.
this at this corner, and it
Well, they
technically
used to
should
go
get there.
to absolutely ridiculous lengths to deliver letters. It could
This
literally be like Bob in Nevada, and they would go to just absurd lengths to try and figure out who Bob in Nevada is that they're supposed to be delivering this letter
And,
to.
and I would
It's
say keep that going. I would say
right.
keep that going.
well,
In the
within
spirit,
reason,
in
within
the
the spirit
spirit,
of that.
yes. And I
If
don't
there's a
know
good faith effort on the behalf of the sender to send it to somebody that
yeah,
probably exists,
yeah.
yes, they should go
In
to
good
relatively
faith,
high.
yeah.
Yeah. Whereas the Bob in Nevada is
A
it's a
bit much.
ridiculous thing.
And maybe it should be more that pressure should be more on a postal service where you're sending regular letters rather than your Amazon package, which includes the replacement brushes for your goddamn electric toothbrush. I mean, who cares about that? But generally, in the spirit of things, a letter. If I were to send, Chris Flatcap or Brian Ether a physical letter, there's a little bit more weight behind
Yes.
that, rather than Jeff Bezos sending you your next toilet paper delivery. Like, who cares about that?
Yeah. One's
And
reliable
I don't know
communication
how
and
you.
one's just plain commerce.
Yeah, and I don't know how you define that, but it goes back to like I think it was a Supreme Court ruling of pornography. Like, you can't define it, but
When you see it.
when you see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
one
here we are defining pornography on Ops Oops Origami.
Yeah. Well.
I mean, isn't that what this channel is? We're the next OnlyFans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really,
Yes.
really ineffective OnlyFans.
OnlyFans, but it's three dudes talking
Yeah.
and no one watching.
No one's paying, baby.
Here, let's get the ASMR.
No, let's not do that. Please, no. We're losing money left and right now. Whatever money we have, it's gone.
Here's a good one. Back to random things. Google's name comes from a spelling error.
It was
because
supposed to
the
be
original
named after the number.
Right, which is GOOGOL. Oops.
Ops.
Well, yeah. Well, that's how a lot of things happen in this world. Just happy accidents.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's just a happy little accident. Turn it into a bird.
Yeah.
Yep.
Into a bird.
Look at that happy little tree. Yeah.
A little Bob Ross. It never hurts you.
If you haven't looked at Apple's original logo, look it up. If you're anything like me, you will be even more angry at Apple than you already are. Let's see here.
Oh, it's just
because that's the one that got them sued by Apple Corps, right? Hold on, let me.
It's like the banner wrapped around. Is that real?
Yeah.
Yep. But look at what's in the center.
I don't know who that's supposed to represent. Oh, Adam.
That's Sir Isaac Newton.
Newton. Yes.
Newton. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, Apple. Okay.
I mean, like always,
Yeah.
they've been taking credit and drawing parody with things that they have no business doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Standard issue.
Yeah.
The first .com registered is symbolics.com.
Yep.
So that's fun.
I have a friend whose dad used to work for them down in
Here's one.
Chicago.
The Firefox logo isn't a fox.
Oh yeah,
It's the only panda worth talking about. The red panda.
the red panda.
Yep. Let's see here. Oh, in case you wanted to know, the internet is currently 12,175 days old.
Okay.
So, there's that. Apparently, if you are a laparoscopic surgeon, and you played more than 3 hours of video games per week growing up, you make 37% fewer errors, and you are 42% faster at doing your laparoscopic surgery.
I believe it. Just the hand-eye coordination, controller familiarity, being accustomed to being able to compensate for input lag. I mean, there's a lot of things there that video games would actually make you well suited for.
Indeed. This one I did not know. The iTunes terms and conditions include that states you also agree that you will not use these products for the development, design, manufacture, or production of nuclear, missile, or chemical or biological weapons. That sentence is horribly punctuated, but legalese.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta put that in there, just so North Korea is doing whatever North
power
Korea
their
does,
nuclear missiles on.
I mean, they're not gonna listen anyways, but
yeah.
At least it's out there.
Here's a good one. As of 2017, 2.1 million people were still using AOL's dial-up service.
Really?
Yeah.
Still using or still paying for it because they weren't able to cancel?
It's a good question. It's only $20 a month.
I mean, that's like 0.5% of the population. So, in the States, anyways.
I mean, it's been a while, but my ex-wife used to work for Bank of America in their call center, and like half the calls, and this was late 90s, well, no, early 2000s, and like half the calls were basically about AOL billing, trying to get them to stop. Like, hey, how can I like block them from billing me still?
Yeah,
that's what it was. Or they do a stop payment and a billing, and then they'd stop billing for like a month or 3, and then do like a catch-up one, and then like start billing odd amounts, because the way you block the billing, it was like it had to be a particular amount, and it would normally always be consistent. But if it was like 2 months worth, well, that wouldn't be the same number as 1 month's worth, so it would go through.
Great.
So yeah, that was a lot of the frog calls were AOL. I guess I'm surprised that anybody is still using AOL. Why?
Nothing else.
Good question.
Yeah, nothing else.
Yeah.
Just ignorance, basically.
It's like a gym. Just close the account and start over. See, that's where single-use credit card numbers are good, or limited use, whatever. I mean, not every provider has them, or not every whatever servicer.
Right.
Yeah.
It is hard to cancel a gym membership. All right, so now we're just into this plain weird tech facts. PlayStation 1 had scratch and discs. The FIFA 2001 disc had the discs smelling like football stadium turf. And Gran Turismo 2, the disc smelled like fuel and burning rubber.
Okay. That sounds like a waste of effort, but yeah. I mean, how would you even do that these days? Everything's all digital downloads. I mean, do we need like a smell-o-vision? We need some SpongeBob
We need
4D
smell-o-vision
action up in here.
Right. Little device that has like a
carcinogens,
random set of.
Yeah.
I wonder how many chemicals would you need to load, like in small quantities, into like a television device? I'm guessing it'd be like in
all the worst ones.
Right. You'd need like, I'm thinking you need like 100. You wouldn't need much of it, and you just like a little drop and off you go. If it broke ever, though.
It's probably not as many as you'd think. And you could probably do something with like almost like an ink cartridge.
It'd be like, you'd start out with like 8 smell, and eventually we'd get up to like fit smell.
Yep. You get more HD smells.
Right. Oh, how much smell does your TV have? Oh, that tickles me right there.
See, me, I don't have much of a sense of smell, so that wouldn't do anything for me. I mean, I don't think I'd buy into something like that to begin with, but.
Yep. Yeah, I've definitely gotten to the weird stats.
Yeah, I should probably prepare for these shows better.
Hey,
we have a really good thing to talk about recently.
Yeah. We need the industry to really F up in a way that we haven't talked about before.
It's like Twitter. Okay.
Yeah.
So Elon Musk is.
There we go. Let's talk about Elon backing out of his Twitter thing. Here's my question: was he ever really serious about it?
Are you going to get me going on this, huh?
Maybe.
Oh.
But if he was serious, isn't this exactly something he'd do to try and lower the price?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't it be something that he would do to sell his Tesla stock at the peak in an excuse to buy some shit company that he didn't care about to begin with to back out?
I mean, maybe, but he didn't sell that much of Tesla for this, because a lot of it was secured funding. I thought it was only like 5 or 10 billion of his money. All the rest was.
Well, then they're going to fight it out,
funding.
Settle for something, and.
Well, and a lot of it comes down to it seems like it comes down to the number of bot accounts, where Twitter doesn't really want to fess up. They just want to give a percentage, and they don't want to give them access to the actual raw data. I mean, they gave him API access, but apparently it was super gimped. So he was rate limited, and also it had like a hard cap on it, so he couldn't even pull all the data that they wanted to look at.
I don't know.
And apparently whatever they set the limits at was less than. So like the paying customers for Twitter's API data was their limits were significantly higher than Elon's. Well, his team's.
Yeah,
so it's like, well,
I did see some like not like bullshit on the internet, but like a legit finance analysis, and that's basically what they said is, Elon can ask all these questions to the end of time, basically kind of wear them out.
Well,
And
yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
basically what he's doing.
so right now, I mean, he kind of has him over a barrel. So they can take him to court for the $1 billion for the out on the contract and try and fight that, or they can let him go. If they take him to court, well, he's going to ask for all the data that they wouldn't let him have the first time. And now it's going to be like sworn testimony. It's going to be all on the record, and they can't. Well, I mean, I guess they could lie, but they really shouldn't.
I mean,
Yeah,
they could ask for it to be sealed.
So the funny part is they've all been freaking out, not wanting to be sold to Twitter. I mean, not being sold to Elon. So where are they going to take him to court to force him to buy it?
Buy it, yeah, like
yeah, well, yeah. Or I mean, it just seems absurd.
That's the. No, I don't want to date you. Wait, you're dating somebody else? You can't leave me.
Well,
yeah. You can't quit. I fire you.
I mean, he already owns enough of Twitter. He's the largest shareholder. He's the largest individual shareholder. I mean, he can already influence Twitter. He's already got a seat on the board if he wants it, which I know he went back and forth on that. I don't know what he ultimately did. I thought he said he was going to take it and then said no. But I mean, right now, it's gotten to the point where, I mean, what's the share price at? It was at 34 before. Was it probably 20 now? I don't even know.
Yeah, it was like down like $4 today.
Yeah, and already it was artificially inflated because everyone was expecting that they're going to get that sweet buyout.
Yeah.
So,
but
he may just proceed with a hostile takeover and just start buying. Okay, trigger your fucking poison pill. Let's see how that works out for you.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's always been a schemer.
He's a troll.
And like he always manipulates, and he always, he lies, basically fucking lies about everything that he does. And for that, I'm not a fan of Elon Musk. I'm not a fan of him. What he says is most of what he said is total nonsense about all of the companies that he's.
Oh yeah, well, a lot of it's just trolling, and it's obvious. Why do people make buying decisions based on him just talking shit?
I want to see the room. I just want to not be in that room. I want to be in the
room. The same reason that people are convinced that like the metaverse is going to be a thing because Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates have said that like it's cool.
Nah.
Like, yeah, I totally go to Bill Gates to find out what's cool. Or Zuckerberg, that fucking
old ass motherfucker. Yeah, the guy
that is still bilking us for millions of dollars every year, and the guy that is trying to do it worse.
Yeah.
The humanoid robot and
that keeps Sweet Baby Ray's on a bookshelf.
Yeah, like the guy who looks like he's like every college freshman that showed up to his first job interview. Like, like this is the guy I'm listening to. Like, dude, I could beat your ass right now. Like, I don't.
Have you ever seen the? Oh shoot, is it The Man Who Fell from Space? Oh, now I'm blanking on the name of the movie. David Bowie.
Oh, I don't know.
It's actually a good film. I'm blanking on the name.
You know it's good when you call it a film.
It's a film.
That was too easy.
They still make films. Like
they do.
The Man Who Fell to Earth.
I don't. Totally unfamiliar with that one.
Oh, it's a little bit weird, but it's actually a good film.
Like, we
Can I get
talking like
someone?
Brazil weird or
Close.
okay.
Let's go. It's got
You might need to watch it a couple of times to really think it's a complex.
Really really wrap your mind around it.
It's not Labyrinth. Is it Labyrinth, Bowie? Like,
Oh, it's way weirder.
the man with the
Oh
tile.
no, it's way weirder. You should.
Yeah.
Labyrinth Bowie's actually pretty amazing. Although he totally did not know how to contact juggle.
Yeah. Well, people like that are at a different like artistic level that
Yeah.
nobody will understand. No sober person will understand.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying. I'm not. They are sober, as are you, but no sober individual will understand their level of creativity.
Sure.
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 Well,
Before
and I
we
think
leave
like
the-
Bowie is just a profoundly creative person.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, practically everything he did was gold.
Yeah.
Practically.
Basically.
Everybody has their misses, but
Is there
I don't
anybody
know.
that really doesn't like Labyrinth?
People that haven't seen it.
You got to see it like a few times to get it in.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't love it the first time, but I liked it, right? I just
There was enough like quirky stuff to kind of keep,
right.
the normally engaged person involved, but
Zuckerberg, by the way, is colorblind.
is he really?
Yeah.
The internet says so. It must be true.
It must be true, yeah.
As are
Whatever.
files.
I don't care about what he says anyways. So, he's gonna burn through all his money building this metaverse that nobody's gonna participate in.
Is he?
Did you see his CNBC interview?
No.
Did you see it?
No.
Go look it up.
Was it him or was it?
No, it was
number
him.
3.
No, it
Did
was
you get to see him
him.
drink water again? Like
Yeah,
like
engage water drink program.
Yeah, engage drinking function. I need to deep that one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What the hell is he doing?
Engage water drink program. Put water down.
I feel like that's one of those things where like his parents yelled at him until he was like 14 to use 2 hands on the cup, and he just
because he kept spilling or something.
Yeah,
right.
But he's just a robot underneath, though. It just like falls through the mechanics of him out like his ass. Like it doesn't even
wet either way. So who cares? Use one hand, use 2.
Yeah,
it's the same technology that powers Biden.
If you want to see if you want to see where the metaverse, like, here's the highlight of the Tonight Show. You want to see where the metaverse is headed? Watch what's the word? Acutely watch Zuckerberg's interview with Jim Cramer on CNBC about the metaverse, and you will see where the metaverse is headed. If you can't come out of that with, as Chris is right now with his head down, there's no hope for you. Watch the interview. It's short. It's very short. It was pumped up, and it is. I'm telling you, dude, it's over. Huh. It's dead on arrival.
Zuckerberg's charisma isn't enough to keep that going.
Yeah, Zuckerberg in classic form is at his first interview that he's ever done in his entire life. Has had no coaching. I don't know how he doesn't have coaches, like just yelling at him, like, "What are you doing?" But do the math of what he says. He says numbers, he says users, he says dollar amounts. Do the math. The damn thing.
This is a dude that created a website to rate chicks on campus, and it accidentally turned into Facebook.
I mean,
What are you expecting?
I mean, everybody knows the famous text messages that Zuckerberg, the infamous text messages from Zuckerberg about him creating Facebook to his buddies saying, I have, what did he go to Princeton? Was it Princeton? Or I think, wherever
one of them.
Yeah, one of the Ivy League schools, and he talks to his friend, and he's like, I have thousands of screen names, social security numbers, incomes, friends, so forth. If you need that, let me know. And this is a quote. If you Google it, is it actual what he said? And his friend texted him back saying, how do you get that? And he says, I don't know why. They just give it to me. They trust me. And he says the words dumb fucks. Like, it's legit. He says they are dumb fucks.
Well, he's not wrong.
I think you're right. So, I mean, we've all been bamboozled, and I'm telling you, if
the Clockwork Man could figure it out.
If you think the metaverse, anybody who thinks the metaverse has some traction, watch the CNBC interview with Jim Cramer, with Zuckerberg himself. It is, and do the math. Like, he's talking numbers. He's like, we have 300 million users all doing $300 a month in e-commerce, and I'm doing the napkin math. I'm like, no, you're not. This is like $8 trillion worth of revenue. Like, it's not happening. No way. But if you haven't seen it, like, watch the interview. I'm telling you.
I'll have to find that.
Yeah, I'm sure some Googling.
I mean, I will say that, like, maybe he revealed something there. He doesn't mean that the users are doing $300 of e-commerce a month. He means that data miners are paying them $300 a month for each user's information.
This just for what?
Social data about users.
Again, but all that comes back to eventually the real revenue has to come in. The ultra targeted ads, targeted ads are already.
Money's just a construct, man.
Groovy, man. Groovy.
So are bills. Luckily, the two.
Yeah. Go tell the local municipality that money's just a construct.
Money's just
my water bill. Yeah.
This isn't real.
Yeah,
I know.
And in classic Zuckerberg form, I don't know how someone hasn't told him, like, dude, you need to take some interviewing coaching lessons.
Yeah.
He's a college freshman showing up to his first interview.
Well, he's never needed to develop those skills.
He's too arrogant. Yeah.
And I think the empire's done. We've seen the peak. It's over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's over. I mean, who likes Facebook anymore?
Here's the thing. Nobody likes Facebook, but it's sticky as a social media platform. It's
agreed.
I agree. The kids don't use it and then they get stuck because it's evil. Zucker have to lead the empire anymore. He built the dragon. The dragon will continue to consume villagers.
Yeah, and I think that fire will fade.
I don't see any reason why it would.
I mean, every kid is on TikTok. I only use Facebook as a glorified contact list and maybe Craigslist 2.0. Yeah, they own WhatsApp.
Exactly.
Does anybody actually use WhatsApp anymore?
Yeah, they gobble up all. I think WhatsApp is used by South American people. Like anybody in Mexico use WhatsApp.
Okay.
Yeah, like all the people in Mexico use WhatsApp.
Actually, it's super popular with certain fast folder people too. Runs on Apple. It's easy.
Yeah, they just keep gobbling up, and they just keep They keep eating their tail until it'll all die eventually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. Fuck.
Yeah, they basically acquire other platforms just to get the user base.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
If you're listening, Zuckerberg, I don't like you.
Bye.
Sure. I don't use that either.
Do it before YouTube does.
The only TikToks I've ever seen are, Chris, ones that you have sent me.
Yeah. I will fully claim my ADD when espousing that TikTok is entertaining to me.
Oh, that's 3 seconds long? I'm not into long form.
Well, and the shocking thing is, like, apparently most TikTok users are not a fan of the extended length of TikTok videos. And I'm like, those are the ones I prefer. I prefer to see stuff longer form. And again, my ADD is well medicated, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm fine with YouTube. I don't need a dozen different ways to get the same type of content. I don't need multiple ways to get pictures. I don't need multiple ways to do instant messaging. I don't need multiple ways to watch videos.
Yeah, videos, pictures, messages. How are you going to manipulate that 1,000 different ways?
Well, yeah, and I don't need a dozen different apps for each of them. That's just stupid. I don't know that many people. I don't care about that many things.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I try not to get
Instagram. I don't get Instagram. It's just it's a dumbed down Facebook. It's a picture based Facebook. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Why? What? Yeah. I don't get that. What that gains you? Not that I like Facebook. I'm just saying that Instagram is an even dumber version.
Does that make Instagram the picture book to Facebook's chapter book?
Probably.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So Wikipedia is the novel?
The novelization of the picture book?
I don't know. Like the progression of reading. No, Wikipedia is like newsprint.
That's probably more accurate. I mean, quality level, it's barely newsprint. Yeah. It's your local
like encyclopedia. Like
no, it's not that quality though. It's like your community newspaper.
Right.
Yeah.
All those little municipal papers that, well, basically have all gone under or have been eaten up by some bigger conglomerate.
Yeah, that doesn't exist anymore. Yeah.
I mean, that's basically the level of most of the articles. There's some that are pretty well written, but
yeah. Apparently, Filipinos use
Americans. That's what came through. You cut out.
Sorry. I mean, sure. Filipinos use social media more than Americans.
All right.
The internet told me.
Oh, probably. I mean, WhatsApp is like huge in Mexico, South America. That's all they use. You talk to them. What's your WhatsApp number? And that's it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'd rather use something like Signal that's end-to-end encrypted and no ads, no nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, what does WhatsApp have on something simpler?
Customers.
User base, yeah.
Mhm.
Just the way it ended up, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way to make millions right now. Find a way to make a social media app, a simple social media app, for free, get a ton of users, and then sell your user base to, Google,
Whoever.
Microsoft, or Facebook. They all want it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh,
Doom scrolling. I mean, I guess I could see that. Beyond that, I mean, just pointing at, laughing at the dregs of humanity. Other than that, I mean, what does TikTok have?
Nothing.
nothing.
Yeah.
You know what it has? It has short form content by people that have long form content on Facebook or on YouTube.
Well, they have short form content on YouTube too. What? How does TikTok add to that equation?
What TikTok essentially is it's an infinite trailer reel
Okay.
with
Yeah.
comedy gags inserted in between. Right, like just look at trailers for stuff that you might want to consume in longer form, and then occasionally there's funny stuff inserted in between.
Yeah, I got shit to do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Basically.
Agreed. It's useful toilet content.
Okay.
Good for 2 or 3 minutes.
I'll give you that. I can concede that that's probably a valid point. I haven't actually done that, so I don't know. But I've started a 10-minute video in the bathroom and be like, "This is you get back
I
to
gotta
the rest
stop.
of the world." Yeah,
Yeah.
video's
I need
not
to
over. And my
I need
legs
to
are
wait.
going numb. I can't just sit here. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, it's great for driving. Like 30 seconds into the phone, and then 30 seconds back on the road. Like, what could go wrong?
Oh, Christ.
Maybe that's why TikTok users aren't a fan of the long form.
Yeah.
Like too much time off the road.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all right. Just look up when you hit the rumble strips. You're fine. Yeah.
Like, oh.
If it's really loud, it's just the car next to you. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oof.
I successfully replaced a what was it? Thermocouple. Sorry, not coupler. Couple. Thermocouple.
On your water heater or
Yeah, water heater.
okay.
Yeah.
They're usually pretty simple. There's not much
Yeah,
to it.
simple. Yeah, but when the tenant calls,
Yeah,
You got to
you
do
need to
something.
do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, we have hot water.
Yeah. No hot water.
You keep that going for too long, they'll call you in and get you reported as a slumlord.
Yeah. You don't want that. No.
No.
Yeah. He
I'm far
aspires to be a slumlord someday, but
Yeah. I aspire to be a slumlord. I
I
don't know.
mean, everybody's got to have goals.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Um,
you need at least 10 more properties, and you can be a slumlord.
Yeah. And forget about 5 of them. Can't wait. It's gonna be good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything exciting coming up this week?
just getting ready to road trip with the kids.
Mm.
Me, the wife, a 4-year-old, and a 6-year-old in a car for a week.
Be a blast.
It's going to be a blast. We're not going to stay in the car for the whole week.
No. That'd be
Although,
absurd.
if you pay us enough, we still won't do it. I value my sanity.
No. I mean, they're not going anywhere. They're just sitting in the driveway, but it's still awkward.
Right. We're gonna put tinting on the windows and hire some people to occasionally run past with a tree or a bush. We call it a road trip. We're gonna save a ton on gas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our kids are gonna be convinced.
Gas prices these days. Yeah,
They're coming
that road
down.
trip's gonna suck. Is it?
No, they're coming down. Yeah. Well, when I was originally planning it, they were over $5 a gallon, and like there's some of the moderate places in the country are down below 450.
Oh.
Oh, it's like free.
I mean, no, but I mean and warning, I'm about to stand up on my favorite conspiracy theory soapbox. The oil and gas companies stopped being able to convince people that the war in Ukraine was going to result in the collapse in the oil market. So they have to relax their stranglehold before they suffer through serious congressional hearings.
Was it them trying to sell that?
Oh yeah. I mean, there are other parties out there that were perfectly happy to ride that bandwagon for their own purposes and means, but they would have reacted a lot sooner because the backlash was so large. The oil and gas companies, on the other hand, are like, nope, we're going to ride this just as long as our statisticians and industrial psychologists tell us that we can. And now I will step down off of my conspiracy theory soapbox and say, well, the market is real, and sometimes people do things that aren't exactly sane.
You mean like sell our strategic oil reserves to other countries?
I mean, I make no comment.
Not that it's really wise to dip into that in the first place, but to dip into it to send it other places, that's especially stupid. Well, what do I know?
Nothing, Brian. It's clearly
I am but
you've never had
humble
any
caveman.
success in your life. You don't know anything about technology, or yeah. Oh man, it got dark outside. Why did it get dark?
Because it's getting late.
Because it's 10:15 at night.
I'm old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, we can wrap this one up.
All right.
Hey, yeah, we made it past the hour and a half mark.
Yeah, that's a good run. Call that a good run.
Zero prep. I mean,
we covered a lot of topics.
We did.
A lot of unrelated topics.
That is fair. Yes, faithful viewers.
Almost as many topics as Dead Spaces, but we're working on it.
Excellent.
So your homework, Jesse, is to watch The Man Who Fell to Earth.
All right, I will do that.
And what's that movie, Brian? Kind of Katsa.
Oyanakatsi.
Yeah, Katsi. You should.
That's also a complex.
Yeah, you should watch that.
Yeah.
You should totally watch The Atomic Cafe. That's good eats. And if you can find a copy, you should watch Trinity and Beyond.
I haven't been able to find that, if I remember right. I know I've looked a couple of times.
I'll have to see if I can find a way to turn a copy into digital form. A previously digital copy into a less controlled digital form. So,
Gotcha.
What's
The Day After. That's another good one to watch.
Yeah.
That one's kind of depressing, though. Jesus.
It is. It's as heavy-handed as is as heavy-handed as Don't Look Up.
Well, yes.
Which totally
haven't seen it, so
you're not missing much.
I saw clips and heard the synopsis.
I mean, it's funny for like the first probably 45 to 60 minutes, and then like you just kind of like, okay, you've hit me over the head with your hammer enough. Just get it over with.
Yeah.
So.
Get it, I get it.
Yeah, we're all gonna die. We're all fucked.
Right.
Basically. Yeah.
Well, on that cheery note, we'll see y'all next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good times.
Hey. Take it easy. See you guys around. Talk to you next week. I'll be back.
Take care.
I'm back from camping on Monday, so
I won't be there. I'll be in California, so iffy.
I might not be back. We'll see. Maybe not next week.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, who knows? Maybe I'll finally do some of those shorts we were talking about. Not shorts, but like 10 to 15 minute kind of shorts.
Yeah. Right. You know what? Do whatever short you want, Brian.
Not TikTok. Not the ticky tackies.
We could do ticky tackies next week. It'll be great.
Yeah. Invite your friends.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you guys later.
Yep.
Bye-bye.